folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallett Buildings. We got a little short and sweet show for you today. Let's get started. As always, we like to start out $500 discount to our military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders. If you're one of those people looking for a building, make sure you grab a hold of this $500 discount. We're proud of this discount. We'll give it away every week. We're going to continue to give it away every week. And if you're one of those persons, like I said, make sure you grab that discount. All right, now, if you want to upgrade to a signature building or an elite building, the best in the business, you want to type in Tiger Cash or cash into a live show like this, and you can receive $1,000 off your purchase. All right, now we got something new. This is our referral program that we've been doing. It's not really new. It's just a new feature in it. So our referral program is where if you refer somebody to Mallett Building and they end up buying a building, then we'll give you $200. Now, if you do that each time, we're going to continue to give you $200. But if you get 10 of them in a year's time, you're going to receive a stay at the Calistoga Ranch. And what that is every you get to fish, and Lee Mallett's going to personally cook for you. So that's a treat in itself. I had his steak. He does a very good job at cooking it. So I think you'd appreciate that. But you know, it's like every time you put a pole, you know, you line in the water, you're going to catch a fish out there. It's an amazing place. This is one of the cabins right here. This cabin right here is actually a post frame building, folks. We're going to get you some pictures on the inside, but this little cabin right here is a post frame construction that we built. It's got the you know, the vertical siding on it instead of your regular ag, and we got some new features coming with some siding coming up in the future once we get our roll fam plant going. But this cabin right here actually faces one of the ponds. That's where you'll be staying. So remember, every time you send somebody to Mallett Buildings and they buy a building, you're going to get $200. When you do that 10 times in a row, pack your bags and get ready to have a good weekend. You can come to the Calistoga Ranch, Lee will cook for you, unlimited fishing, just a great time, beautiful place, all right? So that's our referral program. Let's get started with our value building package. Remember, our value building is better than our competitors' best building. They just can't do what we do here, and here's why. So you got a 30 by 40 by 12 for $25,999. That's $21.67 a square foot, folks. But this is our value series. This is the lowest tier building that we do here at Mallett. But like I said, our value is better than our competitors' best building. Why? Well, let me just tell you. So we give a 4-year workmanship warranty with this building. Okay, you're going to get 26 gauge metal standard on this building. Our competitors are going to give you 29 gauge. You're going to get scissor truss, 2x6 scissor truss standard, all treated #1 kill dry lumber on those scissor truss standard in this value building. Our competitors just don't do that. They're going to charge you because they got to get somebody to make their truss for them, so that those people are going to charge more to make a scissor truss. And keep in mind that their truss, the inner webbing is 2x4s. Okay, so keep that in mind. Also, so the scissor truss are standard on our value building. Our 4-inch concrete on this building. Our competitors do that as well, but what they don't do is they're going to give you 3,000 PSI where we give you 4,000 PSI. Why is that important? Because 4,000 PSI is 33% stronger than 3,000. So I think it's very important. They can do that, and if you ask them to do that, they will. They're just going to charge you for it. Also, a thought to remember is we put microfiber in our concrete. Okay, we don't use the wire mesh. Now the microfiber, a lot of people out there is like, oh, I don't want fiber. I'm going to see that like that cat hair looking stuff. Well, microfiber, you can't even tell it's in the concrete. Okay, but we add that to every yard. We add a bag every yard. Okay, that's a $10 value, or costs $10 more. Competitors don't do that. They're going to give you that rusty wire mesh, and it more than likely it falls to the bottom. So with the microfiber, you rest assured that you're going to get the strength in the whole volume of the concrete. So those points I'm making are very, very important to your building, okay? Now that's those points, and then you got the cable retention system, which our competitors just don't do. This is something that Lee and our engineer, our professional licensed engineering firm came up with years ago. That's our aircraft cable that we run from post to post all throughout your building, and then a big X concrete goes on top. It's a great, superior product for your uplift protection. Our competitors don't do that. So our value building is way better than our competitors' best building. Again, I'll say that. Then, finally, you're going to get concrete under every post. Our competitors just don't do that. And if they do, they're going to charge you for it. That comes standard on all of our buildings. So that's our first special. Our second special is 30 by 60 by 12 for $35,999. That is $19.99 a square foot. In these value buildings, you're going to get a 10 by 10 roll-up door, one walk-through door. Like I said, 4-year workmanship warranty, 130 mile-an-hour wind rating. Like I told you, 26 gauge metal, scissor truss, 4,000 PSI, cable retention. All that comes into our value building. Now, last special for the value, you got a 40 by 80 by 12 for $63,999. $19.99 a square foot, folks. These prices are last year prices. With all these price increases, we are still giving you the best price out there with the best building out there. You can rest assured that when you buy a building from us, we have 26 years of experience. We are continuing to improve our processes. We control everything we do, from our truss plant to our soon-to-be roll form plant, to our design team and all of our engineers on staff. We have it on staff here. There's no third partying going on right here at Mallett Building. So rest assured you have a peace of mind that we're going to do the right thing for you, okay? Now let's get into our signature building. This is a notch above, a grade above our value building. On the signature series, you're going to get 2x8 scissor truss standard, okay? 5-on-12 roof pitch. Of course, you get the 26 gauge metal, you get roof and wall insulation on this building. If I would do anything, if you buy a value building, if you buy one of our specials, the two things you do want to add is roof and wall insulation, because it helps tremendously. That R10 value on the roof and R7 on the wall really makes a difference in this heat going on right now. And of course, you want to add the post protection. But on your signature, that comes with it. You still get the 4,000 PSI. You're going to get two 10 by 10 roll-up doors this time. And then on the signature, we do a 6-year workmanship warranty. And then you get everything else that the value building gets. Of course, you get Zac screws, engineered cable retention system, 4x4 framework around all windows and doors. That's to help strengthen the flex of those areas. Concrete under every post, like I said, and then of course if you have wings, we're going to do an engineered mono truss. We don't do rafters here, okay? So now when you get to the Mallett building, I mean, all of our buildings are the best in the business, but the Mallett building, it really is truly the best. Why? Because we add so many features to this building that if you would get them separate, it would just cost you way more than we put the package together with. So you're going to get the 2x8 scissor truss on the Mallett building, 10-year workmanship warranty on this Mallett Elite building. You're going to get 3-foot truss spacing, folks. That is a lot more wood in that building. We're going to give you 9-foot post spacing, okay? 5-on-12 roof pitch, two 10 by 10 roll-up doors, roof and wall insulation on the Elite package, gutters and gutter brushes. If you go price this out, you're going to pay, you know, $20, maybe more with the gutter brushes, maybe $21, $22 a linear foot, I'm sorry. So you would have to add all the linear foot around your building, and that's what you would have to pay. It's thousands of dollars. We're throwing that in on this Elite package. Of course, on the Elite package, you're going to get the 6-inch concrete. You're going from 4-inch, what our competitors do and what our signature series is, to 6-inch concrete. That is 2.5 times stronger than 4-inch concrete. Then when you add our 4,000 PSI mix in there is superior to anything out there, plus the microfiber. So that's in the Elite package. Post protectors are in the Elite package. Insulated windows in the Elite package. Everything else, continuous ridge vents, which we will go over today, show you a little bit about that. Wainscoting thrown in. It's normally extra. On the Elite package, we throw that in. This building is 145 mile an hour wind load, okay? So that is our Elite package, best in the business. All right, now we do have some Elite series specials going on, and I'm gonna tell you about them right now. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $43,998. Remember, this is the best in the business. Nobody can build a Mallett building. Why? Because they just don't do it. We do everything 10 times better than our competitors. They can't do it. They're going to tell you that they build a Mallett building, but they just don't do it. I explained to you on the previous slides why they don't do it. But on this 30 by 50, which is a very popular building, for $43,998, you must remember, we're on these 3 buildings, we're throwing in an electrical package. That basic electrical package is going to cost you more than $7,500. We're throwing that in on this deal. So that's a $7,500 value. You can just add into that. We're giving it to you. You got a 40 by 50 by 12 for $53,950. We're throwing in a basic electrical package on this building as well. That's a $10,000 value. We're giving it to you on this Elite package. You got a 40 by 60 by 12, $61,598. If you did the math, if an electrician came to your house and quoted you this, it's going to be more than $12,000, but we're giving it to you on this package. So this is tremendous sales with our value and our Elite packages. This is very, very, very good. I mean, seriously, with all these increases in prices, these prices just is not going to get any better than this. So if you're in the market, jump on it, okay? Now, let's talk about the Mallett value building, which we just touched base on. I kind of went through this, but I'll go through it one more time. Remember, on that special, you're going to get 2x6 scissor truss, 4-on-12 roof pitch, 26 gauge mellow, 1 roll-up door, engineered mono truss, 4-inch, 4,000 PSI concrete with the microfiber. This is our value series. This building is better than our competitor's best building. That's why we wanted to show it to you one more time. Now let's get into the, hold on one sec. Okay, roof ventilations, different types of vents, okay? This is how attic ventilation works. So obviously hot air rises. We all agree on that. Now you got traditionally, like in asphalt shingle, you're going to have turbine style box vents. You're going to see these off bridge vents in like red iron, but they're sectioned and they don't really draft right. This is a good style, this ridge vent. What we actually do is take this ridge vent and go the whole length of your building, because that hot air is going to rise and it comes through here. So keep that picture in your mind there. So the types of roof vents, you got box exhaust vents, soffit vents, gable vents, roof turbines, off ridge vents, and then continuous ridge vents are what we put in the Mallett building or the Elite package. So here's your typical box vents. They're going to get a section of your hot air out, and typically in some like restroom areas, this is when this is going to ventilate, that kind of stuff. You got your soffit vents. That's, you know, heat sometimes passes the soffit. It's still going to get out of the soffit, but that hot air is going to rise all the way to the top. It's trying to escape the top. All right, and then you got your gable vents. These actually work pretty good. The problem with them is it can get water in there at some point, and it's not all the way to the top peak of your building. So out of those, I would choose that gable vent. But sometimes you can get uneven airflow even in the gable vent, you know. And then a lot of, you know, regular maintenance is required for all the vents that I just showed you, okay? Especially on the roof turbine. A lot of these actually put out a lot of heat, but they got bearings and stuff like that in these turbines, and you know, aesthetically pleasing is not this turbine, okay? So that's a no-no. These are the off-ridge vents I was telling you about. Sometimes you see these on red iron buildings too, but it's just a section of the house, you know. It works, but it's not superior. And you know, it's kind of like our competitors. Their buildings may work for you, but it's not superior. It's not the best you can buy or the best that you can get, okay? So this is the continuous ridge vent. So if you go back, this is all the way, this vent is the whole peak of your building, okay? That's what continuous ridge vents do. That's what we do here at Mallett, okay? So if I go back to this picture, it's similar to this, but you can't really see it because it's underneath, it's a little bit lower profile, but if it's this vent all the way the whole length of your building, so it's taking out all that heat, okay? So keep that in mind. That's what we do here at Mallett Buildings. All right, now let's get back to this page. So remember, if you're out there shopping, you bring competitors' bid to us, we'll beat their bid apple to apples, and we'll give you $1,000. But we know it's not apples to apples here. Like I said, our value building is better than their best building. Why? Let's start at the top. We're going to give you scissor truss, okay, on the value building. We're going to give you scissor truss. Our competitors ain't going to do that. Where those scissor truss sit is called the header. We use a double 2x12 header, okay? Very important. That's taking the load and the weight of your truss, okay? Our competitors are going to use 2x6s or 2x8s. Mostly 2x8s, but we have seen 2x6s. So be careful of that, okay? So that's at the top. Getting down, we're going to do 26 gauge metal. They're going to use 29 gauge metal. You get to the bottom, we got a cable retention system. They just can't compete with that system. Then we're going to do 4,000 PSI concrete. They're going to use 3,000. It's 33% stronger. We're going to use microfiber. They're going to use a rusty wire mat. That's going to sink to the bottom. The microfiber is going to get in the whole volume of your concrete. So you can be assured that the strength and what we're putting in there is thought out, and it's utilizing the whole volume of your concrete. It's the only way I can really explain it. Then we're going to put concrete under every post. It's just a superior building, folks. So it's really not apples to apples. But if you bring it in, we'll beat their price by $1,000. But then you talk about, you know, years in business, here for the long haul, the workmanship warranty. I'm not sure how somebody can give a 10-year workmanship. We have one of our competitors giving a 10-year workmanship warranty when they only been in business for a year. That just don't make sense to me, folks. We've been in business for 26 years. We can do that. All right, now let's go to the scorecard. You got Southern Style F, Raw Build F, Precision. These are all competitive, saying that they can build a Mallett building. And this is why they can't. They got Fs across the board. Ranger Building F, Beck F, Fortify and Sulfur. They need to stick to rolling out metal and selling metal because they can't touch us. Apache Builders, you know, they got an F. Branded Buildings F. RJM Construction F, folks. All these people, and then you get down to Southern Style. We don't know. I mean, they got some ownership transitions going on over there. We don't even know if they're licensed or not. We don't know what's going on with Southern Style, but we know something's going on with them. But they got an F. Okay, the only people up here that is worthy and that you can trust and have a peace of mind that we're going to do the right thing for you is Mallett Buildings. Okay, so now let's get back to the specials one more time. You got a 30 by 40 by 12 for $25,999. That's $21.67 a square foot. You got a 30 by 60 by 12 for $35,999. That's $19.99 a square foot, folks. Then you got a 40 by 80 by 12 for $63,999. That again is $19.99 a square foot. Again, our value building, this is the lowest series that we do here at Mallett. This is what's on special there. But our value building is better than our competitor's best building. Don't forget that. Now, when you get to the Elite Series, there's nobody in the country who builds a building like this. okay? We got a special going on, and we're throwing in the electrical package on these 3 buildings. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $43,998. You got a 40 by 50 by 12 for $53,950. You got a 40 by 60 by 12 for $61,598. Folks, best building in the industry. All the bells and whistles come on this building, all the way to control joints, everything. We throw it in here on this building. And now, on these 3 specials, we're throwing in the electrical package. Truly unbelievable. If you're in the market, call our building specialists now. They will help you. We'll get you these buildings now, because I think the sales are going to probably end Saturday. We might continue them, but we don't know yet. All right. If you want to see a building and you want to talk to somebody who has done business with us, we have ambassadors out there like Mr. Tim Tackett. He's out there. You know, we got 1,000 more out there like that. And what these folks will do is they'll show you their building. And we make it very easy for you. You call the building specialist and you tell them where you're located, and we'll team you up with an ambassador out there where you can go tour their building and you can ask them questions about us. Okay? So be aware that that's out there. Now I want to throw this in that, remember, our referral program, $200 every time you refer somebody to us. You're going to get $200. They buy a building from us, we're going to give you $200. If you do that 10 times, you might as well pack your bags and be in for a treat. We're going to let you stay at the ranch, and you're going to have your own private cabin facing a lake that's full of fish, and then Lee Mallett himself is going to cook for you. You'd have a great weekend. We want to say thank you to you that do that, okay? So keep in mind that you can achieve this. This is the little cabin. We got several of them on the property. We're going to get some inside pictures for you coming up. This is facing one of the ponds, okay? Now, that's our show today. We really appreciate your business. We'll see you tomorrow.